Right, Sam?
Yeah, André, how's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
Good, not too bad. Another day, another dollar.
Another day, another special guest.
Absolutely.
Penny Blay.
Travel PA.
Yeah, it rhymes.
It does.
It does.
Excellent. Feels like you should have a jingle. Do you have a jingle?
No, but if someone could work on something for me, then
There we
it'd be
go, there it
brilliant.
is.
Yes.
No, I know someone whose husband is a guitar player. Maybe he could help you with that.
Yeah.
Maybe it could.
Yes. I can do the words. Just come up with it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Penny, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one today because, as a travel PA, travel agent, I must confess that I don't think I've used a travel agent for booking a holiday or really anything apart from when I was actually still at uni. So it's been ages since I've done it, and I'm sure loads of things have changed. But also, I probably need a refresher on why it's such a good idea to use a travel agent as well.
Well, yeah.
And we must come to that. But we must start with every podcast by just understanding, where has Penny Blay Travel PA come from? Where did you start their business? Tell us the origin story and how you got here.
Okay. Well, for most of my career, I've been in sort of secretarial and admin. And then I worked at Gatwick Airport for many years. First of all, for National Air Traffic Services, which was really into the techie behind the scenes, what goes on with the airlines and at the airport and that kind of thing. Then I got made redundant from there, which was a real shame because I would have probably still been there if otherwise. And then for a little while, I went and worked for the Civil Aviation Authority, again at Gatwick Airport, working in their medical department. And that was really interesting because a lot of obviously pilots have to be very fit and healthy.
Sure.
So they would come in for eyesight tests, hearing tests, cardio, all kinds of things, just general fitness, because you have to be a certain level of fitness to be a pilot. And so I was there for about 2 years or so. And my small claim to fame while I was there, I saw Prince William because he came in because he had a helicopter license.
Yes, of course.
So I didn't speak to him, but I saw Prince William. So that was quite a good thing to see. So that was only a short-term contract. I was there about 2 years, actually, on and off. And when then that finished, I thought it took a while for me to decide really what I wanted to do. And one of my passions is travelling. And me and my husband have been very lucky to have travelled to many amazing places. The USA, Canada, the Caribbean. We've done Japan and Singapore and Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, and loads of places throughout Europe. And I would just love travelling. So I kind of wanted to put that passion into something that I can actually earn a living from. And hence I became a travel PA. Travel PA is quite a relatively small company compared to the likes of, say, travel counsellors. But I prefer that because it's more like a family. There's only about 40 of us or so. And it's just like a big travel family, and which is what I love.
Brilliant. So what is it then, that passion you have for travelling, is there anything specifically that draws you to that? So I know lots of people will say, when I meet people who say they love travelling, for whatever reason, they'll tell me, I love seeing different cultures, or I love seeing, or I love seeing something completely different to just my day-to-day and my grind. Yeah. And for some people, it's like a stress relief. For some people, it's just that adventurousness in them. What grips you about it?
I think a lot of all of that together.
Yeah.
We're not the kind of people that just lays on a beach for 2 weeks, because I just drives me mad and get really bored. We like going and seeing and visiting places and seeing the culture, meeting different people, trying different food, and that's the kind of thing that we love.
Yeah.
We've been very lucky that we've seen some amazing places, loads of places that we'd love to go back to. There's still a lot of places on our bucket list that we haven't been to yet.
What's next? Where are you going next?
Where we going next? We've got a cruise booked for next spring. We've done lots of cruises. We love cruising. What's next? So we do. Yeah, that's around the Mediterranean. So it's which we've been to before. But there's so many things.
Yeah.
There's so many things, and with our travel PA, they're talking about our next conference, because we have a conference every year. That for 2026, it's likely to be in India, which I have never been to before. So we're really looking forward to that.
Whereabouts in India is that? Do you know?
It's kind of the southwest.
Okay.
West area.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, nice. And so you talked about the whole the travel PA thing and being like a family. You said there's about 40 of you. So tell us about that. Tell us about what travel PA is, what you do in your role, because and naively, like I say, I'm not really in this world, but I imagine you may offer things that are very different to, say, if someone went down to, I don't know, a high street travel agent, for example.
Yeah. I can book pretty much anything, but I really enjoy the more bespoke itineraries.
Sure.
Because anyone can go and book a holiday where you're laying on a beach for 2 weeks. Anyone can book that. That's easy. But I kind of like the more unusual itineraries. Perhaps the multi-centre itinerary or city breaks. Perhaps doing a train journey, and or a combination of all of those.
Yeah.
I mean, the potential is unlimited about what you could do. So that's the kind of thing that I really enjoy, because every inquiry is different, every holiday is different, what people's needs are different, and every inquiry I get is going to be, something I've never done before. And I kind of like the challenge of putting something, like searching for the hotel, searching for the best cruise, searching for the best journey, and putting it all together with the flights. And that's kind of what I love to do for people.
Excellent. So what's the craziest thing or the most out there itinerary or request you've had that you managed to put together?
Well, in the last year, I've done a multi-centre in Vietnam and Cambodia, which was really interesting. I've done a multi-centre in Mexico, which was really interesting, and then flights in between. And also this last year, I've booked a honeymoon island hopping around the Greek islands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's really, you can never know what the next request is going to be.
And I guess on that, would you book would you help a couple book a destination wedding, for example?
Yes. Yeah. The Caribbean particularly is really popular for weddings. And it's you have to be quite careful, because each Caribbean island has a different, the rules are bit different.
Sure.
Like some Caribbean islands don't allow same-sex marriages.
Gotcha.
Some countries you have to be resident in the island for a certain length of time before the wedding. So there's that kind of thing that you have to look into.
Yeah, but it's great that you have that knowledge, though. That you can.
I don't
really help
always
guide them.
remember it. I have to. Look up. It's knowing where to look to find out the information.
But you're somebody who would. That's the thing. So somebody who's thinking about doing it, they don't necessarily think about these things, right? They just like the idea of the destination, or maybe something's drawn them to it.
Yeah.
But all those little things that we just take for granted.
Yeah.
You're going to be on top of that, right?
Yeah,
because you're going to be making sure
they would have their own wedding planner in the resort, and then they can have the flowers and the food and the cake and photographer, and it can all be arranged range there for them.
Well, and of course, if you ever wanted to recommend a couple to book a talented, smart, sophisticated photographer, then you could find one, or you could book me instead. There's
You'll be top of my list, Sam. Top of my list.
And we can bring André with us for the videography, of course.
Of course, for the video. Absolutely. Yeah.
Just for the sunbathing.
He'll be on the beach for 2 weeks.
Sorry, guys, not working today. I find that also impressive, though, the fact that, because obviously the couples or the people that are traveling, they have an idea of what they want to do, but obviously until they communicate that with you or to you, you don't really know. So I think, to me, what I find so interesting is, how do you keep up with, what is there to do on, let's say, you mentioned about Mexico. If someone wants to travel around Mexico, how do you go on about booking that and organizing it in a way that obviously you then can translate to the people?
Yeah, sure. Well, we have every country and every destination has a sort of experts in that particular area. And a lot of our suppliers perhaps just specialise in just Mexico or just the Caribbean or just Japan or just Australia, that kind of thing. So we've got lots of suppliers who we can pick their brains about and say, look, we've got clients that want a certain itinerary or certain requests. Can you put together something for us? And they will. Alternatively, depending on what it is and where it is, I could, if it's Europe, which is quite easy, and I've done a lot of travelling around Europe, I can pick out certain hotels and then put the transfers or car hire and flights together myself. So it all depends on the destination. And if it's somewhere that I haven't been to, for example, like I haven't been to Japan, then I've got people with specialist knowledge of Japan that I can call on for help if I need it.
Yeah.
And one thing about travel is that you're always learning. There's always new hotels, there's new resorts, things change. One of our travel PA ladies has been in the business like 30 plus years. And she's still learning.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I imagine all the things that would have been relevant even, 25, 30 years ago, suddenly it's a different world now for all of that. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And I guess there's, certainly from when we've spoken before, you've mentioned a few times where actually, as does happen when you're traveling across the world, things outside of your control go wrong, right? So a flight gets cancelled, a hotel has a problem or something, and if we're on our own devices sorting that out, we've booked our own itinerary, etc. Well, then it's up to you, as that person in a foreign land who doesn't know necessarily how the system works, to try and fix that. But where do you come in then, as if someone's your client and they book that nice multi-center, let's say, holiday with you, and something hasn't quite gone to plan? How do you get involved?
Well, that's the benefit of having someone like myself, is that I'm at the end of the phone or an email or some sort of WhatsApp message. And so if anything happens, anything goes wrong or not to plan, I know how to step in and try and resolve it. And this is what I always say to people. Then, yes, it's very easy to book your own travel. You can do it all online. You can book your flights separately. You can do your hotel. You can do your car hire, whatever you want. But if something goes wrong, who are you going to call?
Yeah.
And I mean, particularly when COVID hit and there was a lot of travel got cancelled, a lot of people were out on holiday when we went into lockdown and flights got cancelled. So that was quite a challenge. And also when the volcano in Iceland erupted and a lot of flights were, and that's when that happened, a lot of people realised that really struggled with things like if they'd booked a cruise and they had to fly out to somewhere to get a cruise, the cruises were still running, but the flights weren't because of the volcano dust. And they missed their cruise because they couldn't get there. So so if they've got something like me that I can sort out, I can amend things, I can change things, and that is a benefit. And people don't realise the benefit until something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
All the time things are fine. You think, it's...
And it must be, those examples that you give, and particularly that, that cruise example, I can imagine that the only thing that potential would-be client that wasn't a client or family, whatever it was, the only thing they're ever going to remember about that holiday was it went wrong.
Yeah.
Rather than what a great holiday that was.
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong and you can just get yourself on the end of the phone because you've booked it, you know the itinerary inside out, you know how to solve the problems or at least mitigate things where possible, then okay, at least they can call you and say, great, well, this is in good hands. I can just relax a bit.
Yes.
Not have to do all the calling, stressing. Is this going to happen? Has this worked out? Have I booked the right replacement flight?
Yeah.
I don't know. Stress.
Yeah.
That's a huge load off for something that is clearly, for most people, costing a fair amount of money anyway.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
It seems like taking those sorts of risks seems unnecessary when you've got someone who can shoulder that if and when things can go in the wrong direction.
Absolutely, yeah. And it happens quite several times. I had a couple last year out in Corfu and their flight got cancelled. And they were stuck in Corfu an extra 2 days. Now, they'd already checked out of their hotel and they were on their way to the airport.
Yes.
I managed to rebook them on their flight and find them in accommodation for 2 nights. Now, there was 200 plus other people on their flight that were like walking around like headless chickens, what do we do? They were...
They're just running off by.
Yes, you later.
We're sorted. Thanks, Penny's got back. Yeah, great.
Yeah. And it was a Saturday evening, and when my client said, "Thank you so much for giving up your Saturday evening to help us sort our holiday." And I said, "That's what I'm here for."
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I think that's the most in my eyes, that's the most valuable part about the whole process. Because when I first heard of travel PAs, I really didn't understand the concept, because we come from a generation where we grew up with technology. We know how to book things. We can just book a flight and then a train and then a hotel and a trip to whatever. But I think where the value to me comes in, which I never thought about until I met you, was, well, yeah, if something goes wrong, you are pretty. I was out in London yesterday to watch a gig, and this is how simple it can be. We got to London, and then the Northern Line got cancelled. That was the only line that goes to where we needed to be, and just that process, which is in here, it's in UK. We were there. We were in London. It was just a case of like finding an Uber. And it caused so much stress. And looking back now, the only thing I remember was not even the gig that I went to, was the stress I had to go through to get to the gig.
Yeah. And home again, I guess.
And home again. Absolutely. And so to me, the value from that comes from that part of like, if something goes wrong, and hopefully, like you said, 9 out of 10 cases, it won't happen.
Yeah.
But when it happens, you went out there to have a good time, and you don't want it to be damaged by an incident of some sort. And to just have the one point of contact, I think that's also what means a lot, is the fact that there's one person that you can call on. Or call upon to sort all the bits that need, all those moving pieces that need to be sorted. Because if a flight is delayed or whatever, then it's not just a flight, it's the flight that you need to figure out what's going to happen. Is it going to get cancelled or whatever? And then it's on the other side. Okay, well, the transport that was booked for this time now needs to be changed for the next bit.
It's all those little bits.
It's all the little bits. And I think that's invaluable, because... you're trying to have a good time, trying to have a relaxing time, or, business, whatever. And then you really don't need that. You really don't need that bit of stress.
Or that one link in a chain break. Suddenly, yes.
And sometimes it can be... Usually when something goes wrong, it's something that's outside everybody's control, like a flight gets cancelled, but it's how you deal with that problem when it does go wrong. That's the critical bit, which is... And sometimes it's really stressful when it does go wrong, but the satisfaction that my clients know that they've got me to rely on, and they thank you. they've had a great holiday despite what's gone wrong, and that makes it all worthwhile.
That's it. You could just be like, oh, we just gotta go to the coffee shop and wait until Penny sorts this out, rather than like, oh, we need to sort this out now.
I mean, Andre's going back to the beach, so. Sorry, where's the beach, Andre?
I'll be down there. But yeah, no, I think that's so important, and I think people sometimes fail to see, like I did, the importance of that side of a travel PA. But in terms of like, I think for me, another curiosity that I have is in terms of costing. How does that work then? Because obviously there's your side, but then if someone booked a flight that got cancelled, do you sort all of that aspect as well? All of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can sort all of that out, and I don't charge a fee for what I do. We get paid by the suppliers. So if you booked your holiday, if you booked flights and a hotel and everything else, there's commission on that book on all those different elements. But that if I booked it, that commission comes to me. But if you booked it, that commission sort of goes into a big black hole somewhere, or back to the company that so depending on what the problem is that gets cancelled, usually it's kind of covered, but within the booking. But it depends what it is. And I always say to people, make sure you've got good travel insurance.
Yes.
Because the amount of people that don't, and also. But one important thing, while I mentioned travel insurance, is book your insurance as soon as you book your holiday. Because I've known people, I've booked for holidays for like 6 months ahead, and then something happens, and then those clients, if they don't book their insurance until like the week before they go, anything could happen between when you've booked it.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
I mean, I've known people, fall down the stairs and break their leg, so if you had insurance, then that
to be able to recoup the costs.
And obviously depending on how close to the departure date, then there's usually something I can do with getting some of the part of the money back at least, but always have good travel insurance. Yes.
So I guess a key message there is, as well as always have good travel insurance, absolutely, is that really you booking a holiday through you shouldn't cost that person any more than it would be to do it themselves. But what they get is all of those benefits,
peace of mind,
and the peace of mind. So it is putting that on the balance sheet. It's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. But people always think that they can find something cheaper.
Sure.
And unfortunately, there aren't such things as cheap holidays anymore. The cost of everything's gone up. And some people think that the cost of a holiday now is still the same as what it was 10 years ago. But I think COVID has put pay to that, actually, because a lot of things have gone up because of COVID. The cost of fuel. You know how much the cost of fuel's gone up, and how do planes fly if they haven't got the fuel? So.
Yeah, it's because a lot of people I know, and I've tried this myself, where you just think, do you know what, a cheap EasyJet flight, to a city break destination. Oh yeah, they still happen. I still get emails from EasyJet saying this and this, but it very quickly adds up. Quickly adds up. So it could be, if you went on this day, you could get a flight for, 30-40 pounds return or something crazy. Like, well, that's not cheaper than going to London from here, right? Yeah. But then suddenly you start to add up that itinerary. Very quickly it becomes this wasn't the cheap holiday I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't mind flying at 2:00 in the morning, then you'll get a cheap flight.
Yes.
But a lot of the airlines now, they'll add on. You have got to pay for if you want a whole bag in the cabin. You've got to pay for your seats and that kind of thing, and that's what puts the price up.
And I think sometimes it's even the little details like, fine, you might be able to get that cheap flight at 2:00 in the morning, but your check-in is not until 3:00 in the afternoon.
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you do? You're going
to go down the beach.
Yeah, go down the beach. Go spend some money.
with all your cases.
With all the cases.
Yeah.
It happened. It happened to me. I went to Porto and I was just lugging around all these cases. Oh my God.
Whilst getting a tan on,
Always. But yeah, I think there's again, it just goes back to there's so many little moving parts that by just adding you into the equation, where we already established that it won't cost a lot more, but what you bring to the table is then that ease of mind, that peace of mind that people can just be like, well, we know it's fine.
Yeah.
It's all sorted. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that it's priceless. Absolutely priceless.
Yeah, and apart from Penny, what we've touched on, so that we've talked about some really big things there that are very key elements to why we should use someone like yourself to book a holiday. Is there anything else that we haven't mentioned that actually are additional services that maybe you offer to clients? Or, already there's so many little hidden things, I suspect, just like we were talking about the weddings and all the kind of research that you do around it. But are there any other offers or any other reason that might entice someone to say, do you know what, I hadn't even... Not only was I not thinking of booking a travel PA, but actually I'm now thinking differently about my holiday because I can book it with a travel PA. Is there anything like that we've not touched upon already?
Well, I can include sort of things like excursions and things like if you're going to Disney, I can get Disney tickets and attraction tickets and that kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
so all those I can add on as well.
Yeah.
Which you don't have to worry about getting the tickets when you arrive. So
That's you really make it very much an entire package that's thought through from the start to finish.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah.
And go and experience the holiday rather than try and
Yes.
rather than try and manage it all.
Yeah.
We touched about hiding things. And you mentioned earlier you are into finding things that have been hidden.
Yeah.
Does that come from traveling as well?
Well, yes, kind of. Yeah, this hiding things through geocaching. I've done 45 countries now. I've done geocaching in. I've got so from the Caribbean all the way to New Zealand. I've been geocaching and finding these hidden things. And it's so addictive.
So for the uninitiated, what is geocaching? Because I'm hearing about this the first time today. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Geocaching is like a treasure hunt.
Okay.
And they could be little things that are hidden, and they could be hidden under behind a footpath sign or on the back of a letterbox, or they could be hidden anywhere.
Okay.
And sometimes they're even hidden in plain sight. And they could be all different sizes. Some are quite easy, some are a lot more complicated, some you have to solve puzzles for. And it is so addictive. And sometimes you have to there's some which are hidden under bridges, so you need a kayak or something to go and find it. They could be hidden 20 foot up a tree. So I don't do those, but
It's a tree.
In order to reach that, you had to paraglide.
yeah. But if you've got the proper tree climbing equipment and they're 20 foot up a tree, people have done it. I'll pass on that, but. And there's so many different types of hides and puzzles, and then when you found it, there's a little paper log inside. So you sign it and then put it back, and then you log it on the website, and then you get a little happy smiley face.
It's all about the smiley face.
Absolutely. And if you don't find it, you have a little blue sad face.
Ooh.
So you don't, you want the happy smiley faces on the map. Yes.
Yeah, I've never done it myself, but Ellie, my partner, and my two brothers, they are addicted into that. They spend so much time doing it. It's just like, what? Just go for a walk. But no, they love it. They absolutely love it. What made you? What kind of started that? What sparked that curiosity?
Well, we've always enjoyed going out for a walk. We love going out. Walk, especially in the summer if the weather's nice. And it was my husband's cousin actually that first mentioned it to me. And she mentioned this geocaching. I said, "What's that?" And she'd shown me some pictures of these geocaches that she'd found. I thought, "Oh, that sounds interesting." So I investigated it a little bit more and went out and found a few local ones near to where I live, and then sort of gradually went further and further and further. And it is so addictive. And as I say, we've done the Caribbean, we've done Australia, New Zealand, and that you get a map so that you have it will tell you what your furthest northern find, your furthest southern find, furthest east, furthest west, and my furthest south find is on the South Island of New Zealand. My furthest east is on the North Island of New Zealand. My furthest west so far is in the Caribbean, but I need to go a bit further.
Oh, you can definitely go further than that. Yeah, 100%. Yes. Yeah, the tip of Alaska, I'd say, is where you need to head to.
Yes.
Oh, see, I do know some geography. Yes, good.
I don't know where Alaska is, but there you go.
I can book a holiday. Book a holiday.
I mean, you still won't know where it is till you end up there.
I'll end up there. God. Where's this? North, south?
So without spoiling anything, what would be the best or most adventurous or quirky place that you've done a geocache, or the I don't know, like the most challenging thing that you found, without spoiling it if you can?
Okay, well, there was one hidden under a little, I don't know what you call them, like the little drain, the wall where the overflow goes from. So I was sort of crawling on my hands and knees, and this under this little bridge thing, and this was. The actual geocache was hanging from the roof about halfway along. So fortunately it was dry. It was in the summer and it was dry.
I was going to say, you have like a snorkeling mask on.
in the winter you would, yeah. In the winter, yeah. And some of them you do at night, and you can only see in the dark with they're lit up with like UV lights.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So yeah.
And how does it work? So let's say because I'm assuming it's an app, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you download the app, what triggers the locations? Do you search yourself, or it's like, around you now there's free?
Yeah. So you'll get a map on the app, and you'll show you where you are, and then it will say that there might be one 50 feet in front of you, or it might be half a mile behind you, and you can press navigate, and it will take you in that direction. It will show you as you're getting closer, and then they'll have a hint, and so it will be. It might say, tie your shoelaces, in which case it's hidden down low.
Of course, yeah.
Or it might be on the back of a post box. Or
it feels like a real life Da Vinci Code thing. Right?
We should do that. That could be good.
Yeah. And
our next podcast should be walking trying to find geocaching.
We'll just do the studio. It's like, behind the camera. Which one? There's so many.
Yeah. And some of them are really easy, and some of them are really difficult.
Yes,
and they're graded in like 1 to 5, and 5 being the most difficult. And
can you create your own as well?
Yes, I've got some that I've put out for other people to find.
I mean, I would just be really mean and just tie one to a pigeon or something.
There's a moving one.
Well, actually,
it's somewhere in Trafalgar Square.
Well, actually, you're saying that I have found one which was a dummy owl.
Okay.
It was like a plastic owl that was tied to a tree, and you wouldn't have seen it if you didn't know it was there. You wouldn't have seen it.
You have to really be looking for it, kind of thing. Yes. Yeah. Brilliant.
So I think the question now for you is: would you, as a travel PA, if someone said to you, "Well, I kind of want to go to the Caribbean and I want a geocaching trip," can you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, there's a USP for you. Yeah.
The geocaching travel PA, yes.
Very niche.
Excellent. Well, and that really that highlights the adventurous side of you, Penny. Very much, very, very authentic to the whole travel bug that you have yourself.
Yes.
And it's great. It's great that you have that kind of passion to really make sure that your clients just enjoy that experience. And from the thrills that you get from having done what you've done and wanting to see that in other people, it's really admirable. That's great.
Yeah.
It's great that you do that. And the journey that you had to get there sounds like it was perfect for you. Sounds like it was made for you.
I mean, I love what I do. And if I can just book great holidays for my clients and they come home happy, then that makes my day.
Fantastic. Excellent.
And there's nothing that's too small or too big. So even if someone just says to you, "Oh, I just want to book a resort,"
Yeah, I
would
can
you just
do that.
It doesn't have to be like a multi-step thing, does it?
No.
It can just be as easy as, actually, I don't want to book it myself.
Yeah, just a small city break, a small, excellent.
I mean, I've even, probably one of the smallest bookings I've done was in London for a theatre. You know, a night in a theatre, a hotel in London, and theatre tickets. And, you know, just for someone's like birthday or anniversary or something.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I never thought of it in that way. I didn't realise you could go as, I'm going to say small, it's not small though, but as small as that, as in just a trip to London, then you can go and watch a movie.
Travel PA, event coordinator, it's all there.
Yeah, it's all there.
Excellent. So, Penny, the question that we always ask everybody in this podcast is, you've told us, you know, your journey towards the travel PA. You've told us about all your passions around that and why you do what you do. But where are you going next? What's next for Penny Blay, Travel PA?
Oh, good question. If only I knew the answer to that one. I just think just to carry on with, I enjoy what I do so much. And as I say, as long as my clients are happy, then I'm just happy to carry on and create amazing holidays for people.
Excellent.
That's all I'm would love in the world. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
I love that.
And if people want to find out a bit more about you, about the things that you can help them with, where can they go?
I've got a website, and I'm on all the most of the socials. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I don't do as much on Instagram as I ought to, but I'm there. I've got a few things on YouTube.
Oh, excellent. Good.
So I'm out there somewhere. Yeah. You should be able to find me. Just Google me.
Fantastic. Well, of course, we'll put the link to your website on our our podcast as well. But Penny, thanks so much for coming. It's been great to hear your passions.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Lovely to see you guys.
Excellent. And I guess we'll all see each other at a destination wedding sometime soon.
Oh, yes. On the beach.
Yeah.
On the beach.
You guys
On
will
the
be
beach,
working.
yes.
Brilliant. Excellent. Good stuff, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks.